Welcome to Highway Homestead, guys.
Well, the roosters are crowing, gonna rise and shine. Daylight's a burning, ain't got a lot of time. When the day is over and the work's all done, we'll sing and dance and have a little fun.
We are working on a new video, and I thought, I've never done a tour of our property, and we have 5.5 acres, which isn't, it's not a ton, but it's a good amount to work with. And so I wanted to give you guys a tour of our property and just let you see, update you guys on what all's going on, see our chicks and the goats and how they're progressing. We've got so many fruit things coming out right now. We've got our grapes right here, which are coming out great. This is one of our vines right here, and this little birdhouse right here is actually an interesting little piece. Like I said, that's actually an interesting little piece. This little birdhouse was here on our laundry line when we moved in, and every year we have eastern bluebirds that nest there. I don't know if they nest for life. I'm not real versed in all that, but anyways, we love watching them and getting to enjoy their presence with us. This is the tree house my husband built when we first moved in. There was no tree house there at all. We've done a lot of renovations, but I'll try not to talk too much about that because we'd be here all day. So we've got a couple apple trees. One of our apple trees recently died, one of the first one we put in, because we have a lot of issues with cedar rust. We try to spray organically, but you're supposed to spray every 6 days, and that's just a lot to keep up with. But this one right here has proven to be extra hardy, because actually last year Samuel did not get to spray it but maybe once or twice, and it still lived, y'all, and it's back. And so we're trying to prune correctly. We looked up some pruning techniques this year. We've been very still learning on the whole pruning thing. And so anyways, this one's doing really great, and actually I took a cutting off that this year when I pruned it, and it's actually living, y'all. So I'm gonna have another tree from this exact same strain that I don't know how I got it to live, but I'm pretty stinking excited about it. So that's one of them. And then we actually added another one right up here this year, and it's coming out, as you can see, just a little bit right here. It's just starting to come out. So this is the little apple tree that is actually living, which is insane, because all I did was I pruned this off the original apple tree that I had, and I was like, well, I think if we just keep it in water for a little bit, if I put it in some dirt and stuff. Anyways, y'all, it's growing, and I'm so excited because I've never gotten anything to grow so well. So I'm just really excited about that growing. If you come down the hill, right up there is our apple tree. This is the very edge of our property, and this is our backyard. If you come down the hill here, I've got our strawberry bed that actually started in the pallet planter, and then they ran, they spread each year, and they ran back here, and I've got several back there. And then I actually added all these this year, and it's kind of an experiment because, as you can see, our gas line had to go right there when we had gas installed here. So I could not plant right here, and it was just wasted space because I couldn't dig, and so because I knew the gas line was there. So what I did was I took a straw bale and I put it down, and then I put tons of compost and the compost and manure bag from Knox Seed that I used the other day, and I planted strawberries in it. So we're gonna see how that goes, but we have that right there. And if you keep going over here from our yard, there's our chicken coop, and you'll see we've got a fire pit and a few other things. You'll see up in that is chicken tractor where our garden is, our back to Eden. And over there in the woods, you can't see them right now, but they're the goats over there. And so this is actually chicken run, but there's new fencing going up so that you see our fence rolled up there. So we are actually expanding that and trying to put in some actual permanent perimeter fence, which is yay, so exciting. So we're super excited about that. And here we're gonna go check on the chicks, because the chicks are actually in here in the coop. this is our huge mud hole right here because, well, we got handed some issues with this house, of course, which is part of the problem when you buy an old house and you renovate and all that. This is the chicken run and the big ash tree that Samuel took down that we're still cleaning up. But there's a little wet season branch that comes down our property right through here, all the way up through there, and it comes down this way. It's usually only here, you know, during the wet season. Well, dry season it usually dries up. It never dried up last year. So this drain tile, they pieced two together, and that one is completely gone now. So we're actually going to be renting an excavator and doing some excavating work. Here's the original fence that was here. And this, I mean, even though this property's not been farmed in years and years and years and years, this fence was still here, this gate was still here. And you can actually see remnants of the original perimeter fence that goes down through there and across the creek over there and back up. So we found remnants of barbed wire and posts. And so we'll be putting that fence up hopefully here soon. So that'll be our original perimeter fence. And as we come up through here, you'll see our piles and piles and piles and piles of junk that we're saving because we're hoarders, or piles of wood. So all these big piles of wood that we have here are, it's a barn in progress. So basically, Samuel has worked really hard to take down a log cabin, and so we have this really nice wood from a log cabin that is going to be a barn that will eventually go right here. So we're really excited to be able to have that and hopefully be able to put that up soon. So that's one part of our property. And then if you look, if you've seen anything of our property in the past, you knew that this was all completely forested. And now we've taken down so many trees. If you see the stumps up through there, several stumps everywhere. We've taken down that many trees, and this is going to be what we hope is going to be a super productive pasture as soon as we get a few more things done, which is always something around the farm. So you'll see our tilled garden. Our tilled garden is, I would say, smaller than our back at Eden. But we have some little onions popping up down there. 3 rows of potatoes. The green there in the middle is the area where we don't have stuff planted. There's some red cabbage and Swiss chard and celery up there, and some kale and some mixed lettuce greens. We've got a row or two of carrots, a row and a half of carrots, a row and a half of beets, and a couple rows of onions down here. So the onions are coming up really nicely, and I'm really excited about these. I get excited about them every year, but just having something in the garden, y'all, is just for my soul. It's good for my soul. Like, it's just so good. There's always more weeds in my garden than I wish there to be. I'm not the best weeder available. I also have about 5 billion other things going on, so, and I usually stretch myself thin, but I really do try to garden. And you know, Justin Rhodes talks about, like, just plant anything. Even if you get it in the ground, even if you never touch it again, you may get something back. It may be worth it. So just plant and just think about what you could provide for yourself or your family. Even if just a little bit comes up, or even if nothing comes up, what did you lose? A few hours and some extra exercise? I mean, really, it's just plant. Just
I'm gonna carry my baby down to the railroad station. I'm gonna put her on a train and then I want to die. I'm gonna take her in my arms and tell her how much that I love her. Then I'll cry like a baby when I kiss my baby goodbye. My baby tells me that
my goal is to always make Samuel plant a fruit tree, some sort of fruit every year. We're always trying to plant something. So this is one of our first peach trees, and it actually has grown and done so well, y'all. It's so tall. We've pruned it back tremendously this year, but it's doing really well, and so we're super excited about that. And in the background we also have cherry trees, and I actually added another peach tree and another cherry tree this year. So we're always adding fruit, hopefully, and always just trying to plant, y'all. Like Justin Rhodes' thing, it really inspires me that he always says, just plant, just plant, just plant all summer long. You go, you go, you go all summer long, but there is a reward at the end. So if you could just plant. As we walk away from the peach tree here, there's the wood down there, down the hill. There, the chickens are right here, but this is also a cherry tree right here. And we had tons and tons of blooms. You can kind of see the little pink, where the blooms were. Hoping they all got pollinated and we'll have tons of cherries this year. This is a Montmorency cherry, so it's a sour cherry, but it's great for canning or making pies out of, and that's what I really want them for. And I grew up with Montmorency cherry tree in my dad's yard, which it's long gone now, but they're beautiful trees and they just make such a beautiful fruit, providing so much for your family still. So we're all about trying to self-sufficiency here and just trying to use every bit of space that we have available to steward it well, what God has given us. The peach tree and the cherry tree right here. If you slide on over, this is our elderberry patch. So we transplanted these from Samuel's parents' farm, and they have grown exponentially, y'all. Like, I think that one right there has to be like 8-9 feet tall. I mean, it's very tall. They have just been so prolific, and you can see that they're actually spreading. They're still spreading. Even so far as out here, I've actually told Samuel to quit weed eating because I'm like, it's spreading, leave it alone. Let's get some more elderberries because, y'all, we go through the elderberry syrup all the time. So they're spreading, and like this one is one of the, this little one right here, which has the brown wood stem here, was just like this, green last year. And then in 1 year, it comes back with a brown stem, and it just grows so fast. It's such a great plant. If you could get just a few from a neighbor or something, they grow so well, y'all. They're such a good thing to have around here. Show me how you're gonna jump. This is our celery. We bought some starts from the hardware store, and y'all, it does not look very prolific. I've never grown celery. I really don't know anything about it. We've watered it, we've put some ash on it, and actually we've put some rabbit manure one night in the dark. Couldn't film, but rabbit manure in the dark from Cox Homestead, Knoxville, on here. And so we put some different stuff on here. But so if anybody has any suggestions for me with celery, I'm struggling with that, and I really don't know what to do. But the red cabbage here, y'all, I don't know why I just bought red cabbage, because I was like, well, let's just try it one more time, because that's always me. I want to try something else. It looks great, and I can't tell you why, because we've never been able to grow green cabbage. So red cabbage maybe is the trick. I don't know. So we've got some Swiss chard over here that we had bought the transplants, of course. It's really needing picked. I think we'll have that in our eggs one morning for breakfast. And then I've got little bitty seeds of lettuce. This is the mixed lettuce. You can see a little bit of purple right here coming up. And there's some different, it's the organic. Oh, this was the Baker Creek. This was the Baker Creek heirloom. And so there's little bitsy lettuce here. I may have to come through here and thin these out when they get a little bit bigger, but I try not to disturb them too much at first. This is kale. This kale has always done well here, and so we've always had a good time growing it here, and we really enjoy eating it in our salad, and even the kids have been with me. I can't wait till we have cucumbers and salad and have everything ready, so we're excited to have everything fresh here soon. My goal with our pasture and our property here is, knowing that it was wooded when we first got here, I don't want to take every bit of tree away. I know that plants require sunlight, grass requires sunlight, to raise animals requires sunlight, y'all. Like, it requires a lot. But my goal is to have more of a silva pasture, which is a mixture of woods and grass, and you know, you've got the fruit producing trees and the nut producing trees and all of that just gives you so much for your animals. And so for me, that's really what I want to focus on for our property, is having more of a silvopasture, which is why we have left so many trees around the edge of our property. Making our way over to the goats here. They're excited to see us. They know they get their twice daily dose of grain. They're a little bit of grain hogs. I mean, I know they're ruminants and all, but they like some grain for sure. They've also enjoyed their new paddock overnight. We moved them last night, so they've had tons of new greens, and they love getting to enjoy that. Hey, goats. Hey, little goats. Hey, little goats. Man, Dolly, you're looking awfully pregnant on that side, Sister Sue. Awfully pregnant. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button for sure. We'd love to have y'all follow along on our journey. This was a tour of our homestead and just showing you what we have going on, trying to update y'all on what's going on, a little bit of video of the goats, and just how we kind of run everyday life around here, just meandering through the garden and the chickens and the goats. So thanks so much for following.